countries, with Iraq, Jordan, and Egypt, are writing history right now. I think we're turning the page. The old classic politics that used to be followed in the Middle East by superpowers are no longer applicable. The area is on the path of development, and I think the American president himself probably witnessed the change in the ideas and the attitude, and I think there should be a new American strategy toward the area.
Yes, sir.
The president presented actually 5 items to the summit, and all of them are, to the point, actually. We need to apply these 5 points as a target for the summit, and to make peace in the Middle East, to reveal as a fact.
Yes, Mr. Shabaan, this summit gathered Egypt, Iraq, and Jordan, in addition to the Gulf Council countries and the United States. So what are the main things that were discussed, or the agenda of this summit, and the outcome that, or the recommendations that came out of this summit?
You see, this summit was very important because I think the American point of view toward the area should change a bit, because the core of the problem in the Middle East is the Palestinian issue, and the solution of the 2 states was imminent on the negotiation table. If the U.S. will just put or exert more efforts toward the solution of the 2 states, this will solve the problem in the Middle East. This is the main problem in the Middle East. And also, it will eliminate the Iranian threat to Israel, because actually Iran is using this as an excuse to escalate its nuclear activities. So once the Palestinian issue is no longer there, and we have a Palestinian state with the borders of 1967, and Jerusalem is the capital of this state, I think this will actually eliminate the idea of a possible clash between Iran and Israel, because Iran is using this as an excuse. So actually, the Palestinian issue is the core of the problem in the Middle East. Once it's resolved, so the U.S. have to have a new strategy and try to convince the Israel that, Arabs have good intentions, and we proposed about 20 years ago a proposal to make peace in the Middle East. I hope this will be the foundation for the coming peace in the Middle East. Second is actually the respect of sovereignty and no interference in other countries' internal affairs. This is very important. Also, the annihilation and getting rid of all the terrorist groups that actually use the past 10 years to infiltrate in the area, and stop financing it, and stop supporting these terrorist groups. Also, to respect the water resources in the area, especially in Egypt and Sudan, and reach a fair agreement to share the water resources in the area, generally speaking. I think the American president have witnessed the birth of a new Middle East. And I hope he gets the message quickly enough, because the whole idea, or the American side, that they wanted to block the way against any increase in the Russian and Chinese influence in the area. I think being fair to the countries of the Middle East and help them develop their economy and assist them in developing the countries to face the shortage of food supplies due to wars and stuff like that. The Middle East countries, especially the Gulf countries, will not really oppose the idea of increasing their production of oil and gas if this will help the international community to control prices and supplies. I think the whole thing is a win-win situation. We're looking for a win-win situation to everybody.
Yes, Mr. Shabaan, the summit was a chance in order to enhance various aspects of relations, and how do you see it as a chance to boost the partnership with the United States between the countries that attended the Jeddah summit?
You see, the cooperation between the U.S. and the Arab countries in the area exists actually, and you know, the relations are very old and we have a long history with the U.S. But I think it's about time to modernize and cope with the variation in the you know, the political arena. I think Arabs now are very capable of defending themselves. They do not require an external force to protect them. I think peace is the name of the game in the Middle East. All the Arab countries in the area do not really have a problem with anybody except, you know, we have this issue about Palestine, and even the Arab countries recently tried to send messages to the U.S. and to the Israeli government that we are ready for a peace, and they took steps toward that. So the Arabs are very capable of defending themselves. They have the resources, they have the strategy. Once the problem is eliminated in the Middle East, I think the Iranian issue could be controlled by peaceful means, not by confrontation. Also, there is one very important item that our president really asked for, which is the clearing of nuclear activities and mass destruction weapons in the Middle East. I mean, it's not really, you know, logic that we ask Iranians to give up their nuclear program, and at the same time Israel is the only country that will have the nuclear power. So I think if we are asking for a fair and just peace in the Middle East, everybody should comply with the requirement of peace, actually.
Yes, sir, on the sidelines of the summit, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi met with his American counterpart, Joe Biden. So if you would like to elaborate on this summit between Egypt and the States.
You see, you know, we have a long history with the United States. We, you know, we have excellent relations. We need to develop this relations more and more. You see, I think the U.S. could play a very positive role in solving the problem of the Renaissance Dam, and understand the threats that faces Egypt if anything happens to the River Nile flow. And I think with the technology and with the experience that the U.S. have, especially that the U.S. themselves are the ones who made the earlier studies for Ethiopia in 1959, how to develop their water resources, and the Renaissance Dam was one of the items that were included in the American program to develop the water resources in Ethiopia. So we might as well develop the whole program so we increase the wasted, the reserve of the wasted water that flows to the Gulf of Aden. Instead of just letting this water flow to the Gulf of Aden, we might consider the cooperation between the Gulf countries, Ethiopia and Egypt and Sudan, and come up with a massive and huge project to reserve about 400 billion cubic meters of water that flows to the Gulf of Aden. The participation of the U.S. in this project actually bring peace area and prosperity to all people in the area.
Yes. Also, during the meeting, President Biden expressed his deep appreciation for the Egyptian efforts in order to establish peace in the region, praising the key role of Egypt in achieving the truce between Palestinians and the Israeli side and the Gaza Reconstruction Initiative. Your comment, please.
Actually, we appreciate the American president's state. It is very important for us as Egyptians to have peace on all our borders. Yes, we played a positive role in Gaza, and I think we also are playing a very positive role in Libya, where we're hosting the delegations from Libya in Cairo to reach a final settlement for the problems in Libya and have a united army in Libya, get rid of all the mercenary troops and terrorist activities in the south of Libya. We need, this is important to us. We play this role with a positive attitude because it is to the benefit of the people in these areas and brings security to our borders as well.
Yes. Also, sir, Biden also stressed that the U.S. administration has aspiration in order to activate the framework of the joint bilateral cooperation with Egypt and also to enhance the existing strategic coordination and consultation between the two friendly countries in the coming period. So what can we expect in the American-Egyptian relations in the coming period after this important meeting?
Well, I think, we should cooperate more and more in the security of Bab el-Mandab and the Red Sea area to secure trade and, the safe passage for all the ships in the area. So I think the Egyptian Navy and the American Navy are cooperating in this military activities together. And I think both Egypt and the States have a long history of cooperation in military fields. And I think if the U.S. would help Egypt in transferring technology, this will be appreciated because we are coming to the era of modernizing. We have a new republic, remember that, and we need to modernize our industry. We need new investments. We need to encourage investors to come to the area of Suez Canal. I think also after the peace reveals in the Middle East, I think Sinai will be the core of the area. It will be something similar to Dubai. This is the center of gravity for the whole area. I think, cooperation with the U.S. could be very beneficial to Egypt and to the U.S.
Yes, still in the sideline meeting between President Sisi and President Joe Biden. Sir, how important is the partnership between Egypt and the United States in the fields of trade, industry and investment?
Actually, we need more investments in the field of oil, exploration. And if the U.S. will help Egypt in clearing all the mines that were left in after the Second World War in our Western Desert, this would be very much appreciated. I think we have a lot of areas that we could really cooperate. We are into the new era of producing vehicles and cars, and I think we could actually cooperate with the U.S. In a lot of fields, especially agriculture, because I think some of our deserts, like Western Desert and the Sinai, look very similar to the areas in Arizona and similar areas. So I think the American technology in growing crops in the desert areas could be very beneficial to Egypt.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Also, thank you for your valuable information, Engineer Hassan Shabaan, political analyst. Thank you very much for joining us over the phone. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much for following me in this segment. My name is Amal Mukhtar. I leave you with the rest of the segments of The Breakfast Show.